Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. We start off with, of course, the infamous tri-series now that is being called, and Pakistan is all set to face New Zealand and South Africa in this all-important tri-series. South Africa have announced their squad as well. They're going with 6 uncapped players in this squad. So that's a bit of interest now, and of course the series is featuring matches that will take place from the 8th till the 14th of this month. Online and physical ticket sales are available for fans. Gaddafi Stadium and the National Stadium in Karachi will host the series with action being broadcast live on PTV Sports HD, and we'll of course keep updating you with all the results and fixtures as well. But it's, I think, a great moment for some practice as well. Just recently the Pakistan team has been practicing as well. We've seen all the glimpses of that practice match as well between the intra-squad match that was being played, and we'll discuss that. Then we move on and we discuss the ICC Champions Trophy, which has now got officials that have been confirmed for the Champions Trophy. The tickets for Pakistan and India have been sold out as well. Tournament, of course, with overall a lot of viewership that is being expected, and overall 12 umpires will oversee the 8-team tournament matches. All matches, of course, to be broadcast live on PTV Sports HD as well. The big encounter, Pakistan versus India, is in Dubai. Tickets have already been sold out, so it's getting a lot of interest already. And like I always tell you, that it's one of the most watched sports, I would say entertainment-based sports. That's what we call a Pakistan-India fixture always. But it's one of the most watched sports match or a sports activity throughout the world. So we'll talk about that. Then we tell you that the logo, the official logo of the Pakistan Super League's 10th edition has been unveiled. The dates have also been confirmed from the 8th April to the 9th of May. Salman Nasir, of course, highlighted the league's role in national unity with 6 interconnected lines in the logo symbolizing the franchise unity as well. But obviously, we've heard that, after this season, there's going to be a review board and then more franchises might be added. So this season is very, very interesting as well. So we talk about that. Time now to introduce the guest. First of all, joining us in studios is first-class cricketer and cricket expert Kashif Majid. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum Ahmed, thank you very much. Perfectly all right.
Thank you for joining us. We've also been joined by cricket commentator, international broadcaster, presenter, and our sports expert, Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam Ahmed. I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us as well, Asif. Right, Kashif, this tri-series now, what's the importance of it? Obviously, it was being discussed yesterday on another platform that it's not the TRI try, but for Pakistan, it's the TRY try. So we've got to try many things in this series, but the other 2 teams participating also are looking forward to the conditions and the opposition, because I think all these 3 teams have the potential to reach the top 4 in the Champions Trophy.
Definitely, yes. And when we talk about this tri-series, let's talk about the consequences of TRY. First of all, I would think that all those I used to call them parachute players or the parachuters who just landed into the Pakistani side without not being considered for previous so many matches or one-day tournaments. Now, since they're part of it, I don't see them in the starting 11 for the very first match. So let's hope if they're not there and Pakistan win, upcoming matches in tri-series. So most probably they'll be the bench warmers for the rest of the Champions Trophy too. This is how it is. For instance, if I go through the Pakistani bowling lineup, Naseem, Shaheen, Haris, this striker or this triangle of fast bowlers for Pakistan, they'll be the one who will be representing Pakistan in the very first match of any series or Champions Trophy. Or even this tri-series. So going through the batting lineup, most probably Babar will be opening with Fakhar Zaman, and then the inclusion of Saud Shakil, then the Rizwan, Salman Ali, all the names are very regular in the Pakistani lineup. So most probably this is where the Pakistani team stands, and those players who've been criticized, who've been talked about so much in social media and the media.
But Kashif, this particular decision, obviously what people don't understand, we're trying to highlight this as well, that Babar Azam throughout his career, in youth cricket and in first-class cricket, has played as a proper opener. And it's nothing new to him. And a one-down batsman is probably, a batter is considered almost an opener as well with the way things go about their business. But how do you see this decision? Because certain quarters now believe that the middle order will be compromised. For me, I think it's a great omen. Babar's been struggling in the middle over, so why not have him, bat throughout the innings? And that could be his mantra as well, to bat throughout and, score some necessary runs for himself that will eventually help Pakistan.
You mentioned it rightly that Babar is an opener. I still remember when he came to Islamabad team and started open the innings in the T20 format. He was he selected as an opener and he played as an opener, and again representing Islamabad and or any other department, he was an opener. So going back to that Babar Azam as an opener, I think it's a very good omen, because throughout his course of through his career, everybody talks about his weaknesses against the left arm spin. And with this current cricket format and this current regime of cricket, every team has got 2 to 3 left arm spinners. Most probably some of them are the special spinners, and one of them in the playing lineup can be an all-rounder. So Babar open the innings means that he will disturb their fast bowling combination. If a team wants to attack with both new balls, with both and using the fast bowlers, Babar will be the one who will dodge that thinking tank into the opposition captain, that why not try a left arm spinner against Babar Azam in the very few first overs. So most probably Babar's presence at the top of order will the opposition captain will think twice. Second important thing, we all know how classy is when Babar Azam playing in inning when the ball is coming on the bat. As an opener, you always tend to find out that the ball is coming on to bat, because the shine of the ball, the hardness of the ball makes you a quality batter, and makes those pitches a quality pitches. So for me, Babar Azam going as an opener, I think that will be added benefit for the Pakistan, and it can be an advantageous decision.
Well, certainly, Asif Ahmed, this tri-series now, of course, becomes very, very important. Other teams are also looking forward to their necessary practice. And like I said, South Africa and New Zealand both have the quality to reach the top 4 in the Champions Trophy as well. South Africa have announced their squad. They're going with 6 uncapped players in this tri-series.
As you said, the TRY try, yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I'll take that. And Pakistan Cricket Board is also taking this word as Try Nation, inverted commas. That we'll try a different combination, as Kashif Bhai was talking about, that the Babar Azam, if you see his career starting from the under 16, under 19, then domestic, and then of course the national side, he is a proper opening batter in T20 cricket. And if he's going to bat as an opener in ODI, I think it won't make any difference, but it would be really good for Pakistan if he's doing good with the bat as an opening pair with the Fakhar Zaman. Now the people are talking about, some of the critics, they were asking that, including me, you, and of course Kashif, that why Fahim Ashraf has been included in the side. So Pakistan Cricket Board given him a very good answer, and good once again in inverted commas. They said that he was playing brilliantly in Bangladesh Premier League, and Amir Jamal was out of the form. On the other side, somebody asked about the Hasibullah, that why you haven't given him preference, and you included Usman Khan, who didn't perform well in Australia, in South Africa. Lots of chances, as Kashif said, that the parachuters. So I think parachuters aren't responsible for their selection. Of course, that the selection committee, including the head coach Aqib Javed, he's the responsible. And he said that in absence of Mohammad Rizwan, Usman will be better choice as a wicket-keeper batter. I think I won't go with that idea, because Hasibullah has performed so well. If you see his list A career, if you see his domestic career, stellar performances throughout his list A averages around 40, same as with the domestic cricket as well. And he is absolutely brilliant behind the stumps. We have watched him in Babar Azam Trophy, we have watched him in list A, we watched him in National T20. So I think that when he's doing so well with the bat and behind the stumps, instead of including Mohammad Usman once again, it was the right time to give chance to Hasibullah. But anyways, if you see that the other squads, as you were talking about, 6 uncapped players, it means that they're coming with the brave heart, they're coming with open heart, they're giving chances right before the Champions Trophy, and getting an idea that what kind of players they are, because they have performed well in their domestic circuit. Now this is the best time that give them a chance in Tri-Nation Series, as you said, TRY.
Well, I think for South Africa's case, they've got Gerald Coetzee back into the side. So they're bringing some excitement into this series as well. But like I said, all in all, it's very important for Pakistan to now develop that strategy. But, you know, particularly because we're revolving so much around this decision to have Babar Azam open the innings. And Kashif, let's be honest, for the past 2-3 years, we've been very critical on Babar Azam and his performance. Now, technically, he has been struggling. There are certain flaws which he would like to address as well. but the fact still remains that on an opening spot, the chances of failure or the percentage of failure is a bit higher than what you see. But obviously in cricket anything can happen. This could be, an opportunity as well for Babar Azam to tell the entire world once again that, I'm here for a reason and score runs for Pakistan. But how will he have to tackle all of this? Like you mentioned, maybe somebody starts with a left arm spinner. Maybe somebody starts, going outside that off-stump channel to Babar Azam where he's been very vulnerable, or the ball that comes back in. We saw in the practice session as well against Shaheen Shah Afridi. So how does he address this, and, how does he put his head into the game?
Okay, to answer this query, let's talk about Babar Azam as an opener in T20 format. Formidable average. The only concern we have got is the strike rate, which was around 129, 27, 28, around that. And when we talk about the modern eras and the modern openers, we always tend to find out they are striking at 160 strike rate. So let's replicate Babar Azam's T20 heroics as an one-day opener. I think he will be considered as one of the greatest, considering the fact that he'll be averaging around 50 as an opener and striking at 129. So I'm sure if he just replicate his T20 exploits as an one-day opener, he'll be considered as one of the openers for Pakistan. Second important thing, when we talk about Babar Azam playing a T20 match, there's a power play of 6 overs. With one-day cricket on, Babar will be facing 10 overs power play. I do put up a query that the position captain, come up with a left-arm spinner as the number one option against Babar Azam. But then again, that left-arm spinner will be bowling to Babar Azam in the power play with 10 overs at Babar's disposal. 10 overs of fielding restriction at the Babar's disposal. So going through all those statistics, all those simulations, I'll see Babar Azam as a quality opener, and for one-day format, he just have to replicate the T20 opener he was a year back or 2 years back, and just come up with that mindset as a one-day opener, and I think the rest is history.
Well, Asif, obviously if that happens, then like we discussed yesterday as well and the day before, that the onus then comes to the middle order. So if you want to win a tournament, everybody's got to stand up and say that I'm going to give not 100% but 200%. And the most likely candidate at number 3 for Pakistan is Kamran Ghulam. And I think enough chances have been given now, and it's a time for him to also say that yes, I'm coming at number 3, I'm going to occupy this position and I'm going to score runs for Pakistan. I'm not just going to be remembered for imitating Steve Smith on the pitch. I have to score runs for Pakistan.
Well, I strongly agree with you, and as Kashif was mentioning, let's go to that point. Try to understand the difference between T20 and ODI cricket. And the ODI cricket is 50 overs game. It's not the 6 overs power play. It's not about that we'll be asking you to go with 50 strike rate. Even, that if Babar Azam is playing 15 overs full with the Babar Zaman, I think that it will create more pressure on the opposition, and it will be really, really great for Pakistan, because from one side, because Babar Azam is stellar with his stylish strokes like cover drive, cut shot, on drive. He's absolutely brilliant. The only thing is that his form is the big concern, that he's struggling. I think that it's the best chance that you're coming as an opener. You're playing with the new ball. It doesn't matter, who's the opposition is, because, in the Tri-Nation Series, we'll have to face New Zealand, South Africa. In Champions Trophy, we'll have to face India, Bangladesh and New Zealand. So I think all of the opposition, Babar is quite okay. Babar is not under pressure. Not under pressure as an opener. He's under pressure just because he didn't perform well against West Indies. He was not absolutely brilliant from last 2-3 years, and everybody was talking about that. And the huge concern was his strike rate. As Kashif Bhai said, that his average is absolutely brilliant, around 50 in T20. Absolutely, it's an outstanding. But now in ODI cricket, of course, that if you are playing 50 balls and you are scoring just 50, that would be okay.
You can always compensate in the end. Yes,
whenever, we do, please let me remind you the Virat Kohli's heroic innings in the final of T20. What happened on the first 50 deliveries and what happened in on next 20 deliveries. It's all about your mindset. Yes, Babar is not that kind of player who always hit. He just play with the straight bat, proper cricketing shots. And I won't suggest him to go and improvise. Just play your simple cricket. You are absolutely brilliant with your straight
But
bat.
this is something that you mentioned. I was just seeing a video of him in the in today's practice. For the second time, he got out trying to play a reverse sweep of Salman Ali Agha. I'm not critical. This is of course practice, but you're absolutely right that sometimes all you need is a classy one-day innings. That's all.
Yeah, with the straight bat, which is your see, his trademark is cover drives. His trademark is on drive, straight drive, cut shot, flick. If you ask him to play a reverse sweep again, a fast bowler, which we used to watch in the past from A.B. de Villiers or Maxwell, that I think that Babar Azam is not that kind of player. Even Virat Kohli doesn't do this. If you see, even Rohit Sharma, he's absolutely brilliant with his pull and hook shot. He's so good with the cut shot. But he doesn't try, even I didn't watch him in T20 World Cup, that he plays unorthodox shot.
I think a lot of that has to do with the pressures that have been there. Sometimes you try to fit in when all you
Pressure
need to
and, you know, criticism. The people sitting that we want sixes, we don't want singles. Why Babar's strike rate is around 130 in T20? I think it's unnecessary criticism.
Yes, Kashif, you're the expert now as a batter. Amongst all of us, you have the majority of runs and number of games. So this is, I think this is important, that once there's too much criticism, you tend to do something out of the box and eventually you lose something that has been your strength throughout your career.
Babar Azam playing reverse sweep is not meant, you know, it can be a gimmick. Because ultimately there is certain segment of the society who tend to find Babar Azam too smooth or too eye-pleasing. They want something extra from Babar Azam. Most probably a reverse sweep against a fast bowler or a spinner, a paddle sweep, they'll scoop, something like that, and then they can realize that, oh yes, now Babar Azam is doing something different, and now he's catching up with all those modern T20 greats. And this is where he can use himself, or he can distract himself from the quality of Babar Azam we have known throughout his entire career. I was smiling because we are talking about Champions Trophy, and every now and then in any global event since after the 2017, we just was awestruck with Babar Azam. This is the class of a man. Remember 2019, everybody was talking about how will Babar Azam go against all those opposition. And then 21, 22, 24, 23, each and every year was a World Cup year. And every now and then, you know, just before the start of the tournament, the only hope for Pakistan in that batting lineup is Babar Azam. There were days when we talk about Shaheen Afridi's new ball exploits too, but since he has lost a bit of pace and bit of that ink dippers to the right-hander, I guess it's only the Babar Azam. And believe me, Babar Azam opening the innings, if he plays 50 overs, that will be awesome. But he got out, unfortunately got out early. Then it's the rest of the team doing good with the bat, and that will be the pressure is off of every batter, or even as an spectator, because we'll be thinking now since Babar is off.
But it's a vice versa process. That's why I say that number 3, 4 is going to be very important now for Pakistan.
I guess it's very important because we've been lacking that start when we talk about there are a number of changes in the opener. Even with 2023 World Cup, the last global tournament we have played in 50 overs format, we started off with Abdullah and Imam. Midway through, we found out that Imam was not doing good, and we asked Fakhar Zaman to step in. And Asif, remember those Fakhar Zaman's innings? Thank you very much. So that Fakhar Zaman innings, that's just changed the complexion of that opening for Pakistan in that World Cup. So most probably, I was just going through Babar Azam and Fakhar Zaman partnership. There are a number of partnership with these two guys who are quite historic. And this is where the comfort for a batsman comes in, because as a batter, you always tend to find yourself in a comfort zone when you see someone at the non-striking end, which is a very good friend of yours, with whom your chemistry matches, and who can be critical of your batting.
And sometimes it's just easy.
And who writes for you over the Twitter as well.
And you play some of those historic partnerships like
Newzealand. Asif has just taken a cheap shot. That was really below the belt right now.
No, to be honest, that he has written and he has supported him in the bad
There was nothing wrong in that.
Yeah, nothing wrong. I'm just mentioning that point.
But what I'm saying, Kashif, is that sometimes it helps. For example, if there's a right-hander and he's struggling against left arm spin. He's got a left-hander on the other hand. He'll ask him, I'll take a single, why don't you face him? I'm struggling, it's simple.
Yes, this is the mantra of modern day cricket. I still, you know, going through the interviews of legends, Shoaib Akhtar bowling to Justin Langer, or Shoaib Akhtar bowling to Ricky Ponting. He asked Justin Langer, can we rotate? And Justin Langer said, okay, I'm comfortable sitting at the non-striker end, you face the music. So they are two quality batters. They are the two world-renowned batters. And Ponting was struggling, and again, the camaraderie, Gilchrist and Hayden, they talked about their camaraderie throughout. Sachin Tendulkar and Virender Sehwag talk about this, that since I'm not getting the Murli, Virender Sehwag said, and I wanted to take a single and let Sachin Paji do all those stuff. So this is where it's very important. Left-right combination, you are you're quite right. Babar Azam taking a single and asking Fakhar Zaman to go against this left-arm spinner with only 2 fielders outside the circle in the power play. So that can be done. I was just going through that wicket-keepers debate since it was on. The statistics. Let's talk about the Ruhail Nazir. I add one more wicket-keeper batsman into that debate. Ruhail Nazir is 49 list A matches and 35 average, and with 1500 plus runs. Hasibullah, list A matches 51, average 50.13, and a quality keeper. Let's add that quality keeper too. Usman Khan, 12 list A matches with 100 with 1 double century, 201 not out. He's averaging around 675 and 3 not outs. So when we talk about this sample size, it's very small. I want to mention it. When we talk about the average of 75, that means 201 not out 1 innings and 2 more innings of not out for Usman Khan.
But it's a stark difference. One is played 50, one is played 30, one is played 12 matches.
Include one thing, include their domestic record as well.
Yes,
you will not find
domestic.
Yeah.
So what I want.
No, I'm saying 4-day matches.
No, I can't play a one-day player on the basis of his 4-day prospect.
No.
I can select him.
Why I'm saying is
no. Usman just has played 3 4-day matches.
That's it.
Minimum 3, and I think this season particularly as well.
Yes.
Before that, he hasn't played any match.
But I want to stress on a point. Usman Khan, can he be a viable option for 50 over as a wicket keeper? Can he stay there as a quality wicket keeper for the entire 50 overs of the match, entire innings of the match? Because remember, Azhar Ali dropping Virat Kohli. What if he could not win out in the next ball? Usman Khan dropping a simple sitter or a
But it's remarkable how these guys figure out that to make a place in the side, I'm going to be the backup wicket keeper. I've seen Imam wicket keeping. I've seen Umar Akmal wicket keeping. Everything happens in this comedy. What we don't understand that we're not going for a professional wicketkeeper, which should be a backup. If anything happens to Rizwan, and if he can't keep for any odd reason, Usman keeping 50 overs, and it's not just, okay, he might keep fine. But even as a batter, Asif, we must ask ourselves the question, if it was T20, I'd agree with this horrific experiment, which I call it. But for one-day cricket, what you're ultimately doing is, you're once again forcing a whole generation of players to leave the country and go play somewhere else in the world.
Yeah, go to UAE, play there, and some franchise will watch you and hit some sixes, maybe, and then we'll call you in PSL, perform there, and you'll be in the national side. Yeah, that's a very shortcut. But see, as Kashif was mentioning, the record of Ruhail Nazir and Hasibullah, both of them, they are brilliant players. And when we talk about the wicket keeping is a special job. You know that you should be a specialist behind the stumps. This is what Rashid Latif, the legend wicket keeper, he has said that I want a wicket keeper who should be a perfect behind the stumps, and if he's a good batter, because let me give you some examples like Gilchrist, like Kumara Sangakkara, both of them, they were so good behind the stumps, and with the bat they were outstanding. So why we don't take those examples, and why we're coming and we're taking these kind of players, parachuter players. And of course that that why the franchise cricket, they always put pressure on Pakistan Cricket Board for the inclusion of their players. And we have seen posts even from the different franchises that 2-3 players have been taken from our franchise. Even the KPL, they were tweeting, even the KPL, they were posting over the Facebook that these three players, they performed well in KPL, and that's why.
Well, West
there
should
is-
have also tweeted, my player has been selected. That's what,
So
what
that's
should
the
have happened
problem.
in this comedy of errors in Pakistan.
Yeah, that's the problem. And Ahmed, see, I was mentioning that the 4-day cricket, if you are good in 4-day cricket, if you are technically good, as you raised a very important question about the fitness of Usman, that would he be okay behind the stumps for 50 overs? That's a huge, huge question.
And certain things do make a lot of sense. Just for the sake of completing numbers of the squad. I'm not talking about in the playing 11. If there was anyone who should have been included, it could have been Imamul Haq. It could have even been Shan Masood. It could have been somebody who actually, when you think of them, you say, okay, they might just play one-day cricket if needed. But not somebody who's not even close to one-day international cricket in his career.
Well, that's why everybody is shouting and everybody is criticizing. And I think it's a very fair criticism that from nowhere, from no plans, we have seen a player like Fahim Ashraf, we have seen a player like Usman Khan. They were not in the plans. If Fahim was in the plan, why we didn't include him in Australia series? Why didn't we give him chance in South Africa series? And suddenly, you told us that Fahim is the need of Pakistan cricket team. He's playing Bangladesh Premier League. Call him back. He's performing there well, and we want him in the national side. I think it's cruelty. I don't.
But
think
some players are struggling for their luggage over there. They're not getting their luggage back. The bus driver has eventually taken the luggage because dues were not cleared. So I think eventually now players will also realize that these leagues are not just detrimental to our own performances, but to our luggage as well. So I think it's come to that point. But that being said, this tri-series offers a great opportunity as well. And of course, hand in hand with the Champions Trophy for certain players to solidify their place in the squad. Now, once again, that being said, I think there comes a lot of onus, and where I must give credit to Mohammad Rizwan, and Kashif, you'd probably agree on that he's a very street smart cricketer and a captain as well. He's very busy and he knows how to get the best out of his players. So regardless of whatever criticism we have on this squad, when it comes to the final playing 11 going into a Champions Trophy game, Rizwan is a candidate that I would always back as a skipper to, create something out of that.
Okay, Rizwan can be termed as a very close or closest captain to what Sarfaraz was, but a slightly better batter. So this is where
and a wicket keeper as well,
and a slightly better wicket keeper. So you can say, so most probably a pro version of Sarfaraz Rizwan can be. And when we talk about his exploit as a captain, Khoshdil Shah was nowhere to be found, and suddenly we saw him bowling those gentle left arm spinners in the power play after the power play for Multan Sultan, and Khoshdil was one of those wicket takers, and because he got that support from the captain. Usama Mir was nowhere to be found, and suddenly we saw that Rizwan is that one guy who can make Usama Mir a quality leg spinner. So every person who represented Multan Sultan under Rizwan knows that he has got a captain who will be a very unbiased one and who talks about winning the matches when he's on the field. And yes, he was one shrewd captain, because his performances as a captain and also his performances, his franchise performances when he was a captain tells a different story, a remarkable story for me. Second important thing, Rizwan's presence in the middle order. I was skeptical in the start when Rizwan was facing spinners that he hasn't got that the quality to face quality spin. But I guess since 2021 or 2022.
Right, we go towards a short break, we've been told, but stay tuned, we come right back. Right, of course, Pakistan's chances in the Champions Trophy are somewhat that we believe are very high, considering that you're defending this title. So what is interesting is that if you look at the team that participated in 2017 and you look at now, then only 3 players are the similar ones who participated in that tournament. So I think it becomes a bit of interesting factor as well. But coming towards the close of the program, we must discuss something very, very important as well, K. Asif Ahmed, and that is that, of course, batting is a very, very important component of any tournament. But bowlers win you games, and for Pakistan, that's been something that we have been craving for a long time now.
Well, actually, bowlers win you the tournaments, actually, you know. And do remember that on the final of 2017 Champions Trophy, Fakhar Zaman scored a century. But in the end, Amir bowled really well, and he has taken early on wickets. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, some of the batters. Only the Hardik Pandya was the batter who fought well against the Pakistani bowling lineup. Rest, I think, if you see the Pakistani bowling lineup, Shaheen Shah Afridi looks in a very, very good touch, and we have talked a lot about Haris Rauf, that he's improving well, not only with his pace, not only with his liner length, but swing as well. So Haris and Shaheen Shah Afridi, and then of course Naseem Shah is outstanding bowler, and he's giving some tough time in the past series in South Africa, Australia. His performance was absolutely brilliant. The only issue with me is the spin department. I think that we're lacking there.
Well, they've spun all of us through this selection, but you know, that spin department becomes very important. Of course, that now brings us to another very important development where the Pakistan Super League logo for the official 10th edition has been unveiled. It includes the colors of all the participating 6 franchises with sort of an X that we see. But then again, this is the official logo that has been unveiled. The dates have also been announced. From April till May, this tournament will run, and I think it's going to be a spectacular edition considering that it will take place in stadiums which have just been newly renovated, and there's a lot of cricket on offer. And then, of course, after this season, it's a review board that takes place. Franchises, all of them will be reassessed. The ownerships would be reassessed, and there are news that certain franchises are to be added to the Pakistan Super League as well. So I think all in all, it's a great moment for cricket in Pakistan. Thank you very much, Asif Ahmed and Kashif Majid, for joining us on Sports Extra. That wraps up the program. From me and the entire team, it's goodbye for now.